Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to this unseen video. This is where we round up all the big talking points from social media. And is there a bigger talking point on social media today than the Wyatt Sicks tweeting again? Honestly, they are like 13-year-old girls. They will not leave Twitter alone. They are all over it, just firing out their thoughts. And we've got another one here. The words of a fool. Fan the flames of your pride. You are nothing. Right now, this is interesting because a little bit cryptic, and it's interesting to see that people have translated this in slightly different ways. Some people thinking this is aimed at Miz, some people thinking this is aimed at Karrion Kross. I personally agree with Wrestle Night. So, the words of a fool, fan the flames of your pride, you are nothing. Now, I kind of feel like the words of a fool would be Karrion, right? Fanning the flames of your pride, you are nothing, Miz. Because I feel like we've seen Karrion talking to Miz, but I don't think we've seen anyone talking to Karrion. So who would fan the flames of Karrion's pride? Who is the fool that would fan the flames of Karrion's pride? I can't think of anyone. Some people might say Scarlett, but we don't see Scarlett talking to Karrion. So I've got to think that the words of the fool, Karrion being the fool, fan the flames of your pride, you are nothing. This whole thing being addressed to the Miz. I agree with this. That's kind of my interpretation of it as well. But if you think different, feel free to explain it down in the comments below. But yeah, clearly we're circling around Miz. I feel like we're circling around Karrion. I've said before, I think Karrion is that serpent in the weeds. I think he is the snake in the grass. Miz, obviously, turning on R-Truth. We saw the interruption during the Miz Karrion segment on Raw. We know that the picture that was tweeted out yesterday was of Miz and R-Truth. I mean, the pieces are falling into place, aren't they? So that's kind of where we are with Wyatt Sicks, this being the latest tweet. And a big thank you to everyone that tagged me in this, because I was asleep when it dropped. What I'm going to do is later, when we get to the thanks folder, I am actually going to walk down. We won't spend too long doing it, but we'll walk down a bit of the comments, and I'm going to shout out some of the people that were kind enough to tag me in this tweet. Right, moving on. Wrestling fan since day one said this is creepy, but amazing at the same time. And this is, I didn't even know they were doing this. You know, in 2K24, they've started to put action figure models. They've added one here of Bray Wyatt. This is actually what one of his Mattel action figures looks like. You can see where the stomach crunch is. You can see the joint on the shoulder. You can see the elbow joint. You can see the fixed facial expression. This is on purpose because they have now started putting in action figure models into the game. There's a few of Hulk Hogan, but this is the first I've ever seen of Bray Wyatt, and I just think it's such a fun addition that you can play as Bray, you can be the Fiend, you can be the new Fiend, you can now also be a Bray Wyatt action figure in 2K24. I think that's brilliant. Honestly, I think it's so much fun. So, brilliant. This, I'm guessing, is going to be part of a pack, maybe, that comes out on the 16th in, we're looking around like a week's time, just under. So, very, very exciting. So, there we go. That is the video of the new Bray Wyatt action figure model. So that was the Wyatts. Let's go WWE, shall we? See what we've got here. So Wrestle Night, shout out to you. It's been reported that CM Punk was backstage at NXT this week. He traveled on the bus with the NXT talent and he was giving advice to them at the taping as well. So CM Punk around again. He loves it. I think he's really made some good friends there. He's clearly got a lot of time for Roxanne. and Cora. But I think there's a lot of guys that go up to him and ask for help, ask for assistance. We know he's quite close with Trick Williams. We saw them sharing some pizza last week. So, yeah, just really cool. Brilliant. Just, I think he's in a really good place at the moment. So, Tifo, shout out to you. Wrestle Night, shout out to you. It's Bryn again. Shout out to you. Yeah, this was strange. There was an incident at the NXT hotel in St. Louis last night. A man was allegedly caught trying to take photos of the feet of female talent as they made their way through the hotel, and he was ejected not once but twice from the location. So it's just a bit strange, really. I'm a bit torn when it comes to like fans going to the hotel, because the hotel is kind of their place of sanctuary, you know. But I understand that fans love the superstars so much that they go to hotels. But superstars have said, you know, please respect our privacy. Like, airports are a bit of a no-go. I would imagine hotels are a little bit of a no-go. But then, you know, if they're in the area, when would you get a chance to meet them otherwise? I know they say, please come to official meet and greets, but when do they do them? Like, when would you get a chance to do a meet and greet with NXT talent? Like, they don't make them very accessible, to be honest. So I can and even if you did do like more meet and greets, you would still get people going to the hotels. But yeah, you know, this is the kind of stuff they have to deal with then, where fans are around and then you got someone trying to take pictures of female feet. So I just think us as wrestling fans need to try and do a bit better. I don't even know if this guy was a wrestling fan. Perhaps he was just into feet and he just saw a load of women. But I could believe this was a wrestling fan. It sounds like the kind of debauched thing that we would do. So, you know, I'm very proud. I'm very proud to be part of this community. It's Bryn again. Shout out to you. So, never underestimate a superstar as talented, determined, and hungry as Candice LeRae. Huge congrats to the first ever Speed Women's Champion. Now, I got sent images of this like the other day. It was filmed the other day. Spoilers were around the other day, but it aired today. She is the first ever women's Speed Champion. I didn't think she would be the one that they would go with, but I'm pleased for her, because she's certainly someone that hasn't seen much opportunity on the main roster. She's not someone that's getting frequent matches. I think she's on Raw. I can't even remember what brand she's on. That's how infrequent we see her. So great to see that she's got something to shout about. And she was certainly making some noise, because here is a backstage segment with her and Indy.
You did it! Yes! You did it! Oh my gosh. I'm the first Speed Women's Champion.
First ever.
First, maybe only ever. Maybe
That's
only ever.
Maybe best ever.
Oh my gosh. This is my first singles title. And the first time I beat Io. I beat Io!
Finally, it's been years!
Oh my gosh.
But
And
Candice,
nobody's gonna beat me. Nobody's gonna ever beat me. They're gonna retire the title with me. They're gonna retire it with me, because nobody's gonna beat me.
can you believe it?
Believe what?
Yes, you can believe
Yes,
it!
I can. Yes, I can. But you know who can't believe it? All of you on X who had your mean little things to say about me. Yeah, you're wrong.
Yeah, stupid little online trolls. Haters are her motivators.
Ooh,
Like that?
we have to end it on that.
Like that one?
We're gonna go celebrate anyway, so we're gonna end it on that one.
Okay, let's go. Let's go.
There we go. Haters are her motivators. So many congratulations to her. Apparently, WWE have postponed the 11th and 12th NXT live events. I think this is in the Florida area, not St. Louis. And it's obviously due to the hurricane and the weather conditions down there. So obviously, everyone in that area, in our thoughts, I can tell you it is the top story over here in the UK. It was the headline story on our news tonight. So I've said before, like, I'm fully aware of how bad it is now, because like that's just so strange for it to be the top story over here, what's happening in Florida. I would imagine it's the top story in most places. So thoughts very much with Florida at this moment. Jason, shout out to you. Appreciate it, my friend. And this is what I've been waiting for. Because I don't want to be putting out like fake news, false news. I really want to be putting out the best rumors, the best kind of theories, or just stuff that you can trust in, you know? I really don't want to be putting out or saying stuff that's incorrect, right? Obviously, we might get the odd thing wrong here or there, and sometimes theories and rumors don't prove to be reliable because that's the nature of the business. But, you know, I'm always trying to make sure we're giving good, accurate information. And honestly, I kept saying, I don't know when SmackDown leaves TNT Sports in the UK because I've not seen it confirmed anywhere. Well, now we have this. So the WWE Netflix deal in the UK will come into effect with SmackDown airing live on January 4th. They could not make this any clearer. They are saying here in the UK, SmackDown will air live on Netflix on January 4th. Netflix in the UK will have everything. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and PLEs. So there we go. It's going to have everything. And it looks like SmackDown starts on January 4th. So that for me is confirmation. That for me gives me a date. This is the latest info. And it's coming from Wrestle Features. So I think that is a good source. I think that is someone. I was hoping that they would say where they had got it from, though. But this is a big account. I mean, we're talking about an account here that's got 123,000 followers, you know? So, but I would have liked for them to have mentioned where they heard this from. But I'm going with it because it's an account that doesn't put out fake news, right? So I'm trusting in the info they found. Right, Ronnie said, so does this mean that Roman won't have much to recruit, blah, blah, blah? Jey Uso thinks the Bloodline will get back together again, right? So this come in from Jazz's World, an interview. Bloodline are going to get it together. We're going to be all right. Families fight. Now, I've not seen the interview, but I have seen people tagging me in this. I think this is Jey speaking as a fan. I don't think this is Jey speaking as the character. I think he's speaking about how, listen, families fight. We'll be all right in the long run. I think it's a throwaway comment. I don't think it indicates that he's going to be joining up with the Bloodline, although I still expect him to. I don't think this is a bombshell. I don't think this is him trying to ruin the story that's come in. I think this is him speaking off the cuff as a fan, saying, listen, you know, Bloodline, we'll be all right. We'll get it back together, you know. I think that he's not really thinking about, like, the story where it is. The fact that maybe the expectation is that he's going to be a bit standoffish. He's just kind of speaking off the cuff, off the record as well, if you will. So I really personally have not read much into this. I don't really take it as canon, because my expectation is that Jey is not going to want to go back. My expectation is that the way that he was treated, the way like that he had a big falling out with his brother and with Roman, he's not just going to go walking over and be like, yeah, I'm back, I'm here. I would imagine that there's going to be a bit of resistance there. Hence why this comment doesn't quite line up. So for me, this was him speaking off the records, off the cuff. It's not canon. I don't expect it to be in line with how this story is going to be told. But I do ultimately expect Jey to return and join up with the Bloodline. So I got asked a few times, like, oh my God, what does this mean? Right? Like here, look, Ronnie said, help a brother out days. So that's my interpretation of it. Brony, shout out to you. So NXT having a great night, 874, well above my expectation, probably about 100,000 above my expectations. Certainly when you take into consideration a lot of people in Florida weren't able to tune in. They've obviously got a lot of issues going on there. As well as that, they were up against AEW, but not for both hours, just for the second hour. And I think that also hurt AEW. Not only were they on a different night, not only were they in a different time, not only were they up against NXT, but they were pushed back even later, which means that that second hour for AEW was even later than usual. And we know the later it gets, the more the viewership drops off, right? So AEW having a pretty bad night, to be honest. I mean, 3-2-9 is, I mean, a disaster. There's no two ways about it. It's I think their lowest ever rating. But there are reasons for it. I mean, we know that AEW has been struggling this year. We know it's been a bad year for them. But we also know where they are. We know they're around that 650, 700,000 range, right? Because that's where they've been pretty much week after week after week after week in recent weeks. So we know that this isn't the new normal. We know that this is because they changed nights, changed times. A load of their fans didn't even seem to know, and they were up against a pretty stacked NXT as well. So I expected NXT to win. I didn't think the gap would be this wide. I don't take any like dub from this or anything. I take a dub from that for NXT. I think that's a great number. But then if you're going to have Jey Uso, Randy Orton, Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, A-Town Down Under, Sexy Red, like, I mean, this thing was stacked. It was absolutely stacked. And we had a big title match on there as well. Tony against Oba, which only the week before had been promoted on Miz TV. On last week's NXT. So, yeah, you know, I think that this was a great number. Still well ahead of what I expected. I think that when it settles down, it's going to settle around that kind of 650, 700,000 range. If it can settle around the 720, 750 mark, that's amazing. I would expect it to keep dropping, though. I mean, you know, in 2 years' time, where do we really expect it to be? I expect it to be around 650. So, yeah, listen, we're eating good as NXT fans, but take it with a pinch of salt, because that will drop. And my concern is that when it does drop, people are going to be like, oh my God, this is a disaster. It's like, it's not a disaster. Apparently last week, they would have been thrilled with 500,000 at CW. This is not a disaster if it drops a bit, right? I'm expecting it to drop. Let's be clear. That way, when it does, you know, you ain't going to get no panic out of me. Edward, shout out to you, said WWE reportedly has got plans to do a triple threat. So this is coming from WrestleVotes, who have clarified their 1, 2, 3, 41 stance. I really thought that it could have been The Rock saying to Cody, I've pinned you 1, 2, 3 at WrestleMania 40. I'll see you at WrestleMania 41. Word on the street was Cody versus Rock was the plan. Roman versus Solo was also the plan. But now WrestleVotes are reporting that there is a new plan that's on the table. It's not finalized. Gotta stress that. Not finalized. But I can tell you that it's on the table. Cody versus Roman versus The Rock. Not the direction I would go. Personally, I've said before, like, I think it looks great on a poster. I'm sure the match would be a lot of fun, but I will always take a singles match over a triple threat, because Rock versus Cody is a match I would love to see. Rock versus Roman is a match I would love to see. A triple threat doesn't quite satisfy both of those. Like, even if we get the triple threat, I will still want Rock Cody as a match. I will still want Roman Rock as a match. So it doesn't really satisfy anything for me. But it looks great on a poster, and you are putting 3 of your biggest talents in the ring at the same time. So it is also hard to be critical. But yeah, there we go. Big news. Cody was talking about Kevin Owens, right? Let's see if we can whoosh this over. So this was coming from an interview that he did with Manchester Evening News. And I think the reason why is because there is the UK tour that's coming up. So I'd be foolish to tell you anything different, because the entire video exists online and you can see every inch of it. I don't know what video we're talking about here, but I'll try. That must be a video I've not seen. I'll try and keep my remarks short in terms of how I feel, but I'll tell you this. It's a very passionate industry. Everyone wants the North Star of our business, which is the WWE Championship, and the championship I hold at this time. I don't know if you'll see this unfold on screens or SmackDown or Raw or when we come overseas. Pro wrestling and sports entertainment tends to like to dive into that. Perhaps it does. Perhaps it's dealt with internally. Overall, I did feel very happy about my match at Bad Bloods. I was happy for the city of Atlanta. That's the city that raised me. Everything happened and appeared, and I was happy for Atlanta and the WWE because it feels like the road to WrestleMania started early this year, which is very interesting because he's sort of insinuating that when we saw The Rock coming out and gesturing to Cody, that this could very much be seen as the start of the road to WrestleMania. I don't quite think we're at that point yet. But interesting comments from Cody, and he's still very much going with the line of like, you know, listen, what happened between me and Kevin, that was disappointing. I think it'll just be treated with he's still trying to play it down as being real, as being not part of the show, so on, right? So interesting comments there. Dave, shout out to you. So Bronson Reed said Triple H thought he might have broken his neck or cracked his skull open when he fell hard off the hood of a car. So this was really good by Chris Van Vliet. He said, I want to talk to you about this spot. No one seems to be talking about it. And Bronson was like, yeah, no one outside of the locker room. Apparently the locker room were all talking about it. I can't show it because it'll get flagged. But Braun collides into Bronson. Bronson then sort of slides across the bonnet and then poof, hits the ground. And apparently there was genuine, legitimate concern that he might have cracked his head off the floor when he slid across the bonnet and went poof, kind of power bombed himself onto the ground. And he said that he's lucky because like his shoulders are really big and muscular, so they kind of took the impact first. So, you know, if he wasn't as big as what he was, maybe his head would have cracked the ground. So really interesting. I thought it was a great question by Chris Van Vliet, and you could see Bronson kind of light up when the question was asked because it was kind of something that had been spoken about backstage, but not something fans had particularly picked up on. So love that. Brilliant. So, right, we've done Wyatt's, we've done WWE. I think we've only got fun, other, and a little bit of thanks to go through. I love this. Dean, shout out to you. I just love this meme. It's so reusable. I mean, recycling is very important in the world, right? I mean, we've got climate change going on, so we do need to reuse memes. So it's great to see this one coming back around. So here we got WWE looking after the NXT women's division. Hey, who's a good baby? Who's a good baby? Come on, come on, come on. And over here, SmackDown with... And then down here is just already dead. Raw women's division is dead. It's done. It's over. So I love this. That is how it is as well. NXT women's division, killing it. SmackDown women's division hanging in, and Raw is basically Liv and Rhea. So there we go. And now Raquel as well. Wrestle Night, shout out to you. Corb made a tag team and called them Team Hell Yeah, which I love that. That's a great idea. Brilliant work. Wrestle Night said, here's an old Hasbro adverts. Now, I love this because it's actually three. First of all, I love Hasbro figures. You're right in my wheelhouse. Great to see Roddy Piper. There's a couple of wrestlers that have a bit of fun with him. I love the Bushwhackers licking his face, right? But not only that, this is actually three adverts. The first one is based on singles wrestlers. The second one is based on tag team wrestlers. And then the third one is based on big Hogan Ultimate Warrior figures that talk. So it only goes for 1:30, but these are three classic, I'm thinking late 80s, maybe really, really early 90s, but I'm thinking like 89, 90, somewhere around that ballpark. Adverts, commercials for these action figures.
These new WWF figures, they got real wrestling action. Me and our man shows everybody's got a price. The American Dream will put you to sleep, and Hacksaw's gonna cut you down. Ooh, he'll pay for that. I'll squash Hogan with my new Macho Master. Man, Hulkster's gonna put the squeeze on you, and now you're taking the ultimate punishment. Let's get ready! I'll crown all of ya! New WWF figure so close to the real thing, it's like being in the ring. It's twice the mayhem with new WWF tag team figures. Max the Rocker, Shawn Michaels, and Marty Jannetty against Smash and Crush with Demolition. Hey, it's a double team. What a fight! Oh, what a smash! It's time to run and roll.
That's Shawn Michaels, by the way. That's Marty Jannetty. And the next one we see is Shawn. That's Shawn Michaels. So this is them when they were the Rockers. This is like how Shawn came into WWF. But how great seeing the Rockers in the ring with like Demolition. Amazing. Brilliant. I love these. So good. And Rowdy is perfect for this, isn't he? He's so pumped up. He's so like... You'll see the Bushwhackers in a bit licking his face as well.
Oh, yeah! Look out, Demolition. It's the Bushwhackers, Luke and Butch. Hey, kids! Nobody stands up to the Down-and-Out Blaster! Oh, the Thunder from Down Under! The Bushwhackers win! Yeah! WWF Tag Team figures so close to the real thing, it's like being in the ring. New WWF talking Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. They're big enough to be talking tough. Holster rules, brother. Not in my kingdom, Hogan. Feel the power of Hulkamania. New WWF talking wrestlers are big, eat, says, six fighting phrases. Using the real voices of Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. Listen. I am the Ultimate Warrior. I challenge you, Warrior. I accept the Ultimate Challenge. Gonna be a great battle like these guys are talking. New WWF talking wrestlers, they're big enough to be talking tough.
How brilliant. Do you know, I'm looking at that, I'm like, why did we not get a Rowdy Roddy Piper? Why didn't we get a Macho Man? I mean, to my knowledge, they only made Hogan and Warrior in those, like, larger figures. But, I mean, Rowdy Roddy Piper's just talking so quick. He brings so much energy to those commercials. But just having, like, the Macho Man involved and Warrior there, Bushwhackers, Roddy, the Rockers... So good. We looked at a Mattel advert the other day. It was horrific. It was like a father and son just playing with like some of the it was so boring. And then you compare it back to what we were doing in the late 80s, early 90s. Like, it's night and day, man. Mattel need to watch that. They need to learn some lessons. Right, look at this. Vince Russo. Why Chelsea Green is the best thing in women's wrestling today. Chelsea saw that. She tagged Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce. USA Network were like, bro, which obviously is a reference to Vince Russo, which is just brilliant. So, Raymond, thank you. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was great. And here's some outtakes. Look, Triple H said, Cody is a total pro. Maybe someday I will be too. Had a ton of fun shooting this one with the champ. And there's Cody, look, laughing face emojis. So this is them for like just over a minute, like with outtakes and making mistakes for that brilliant open, that cold open to Bad Blood.
Metro Boomin?
How many metros you know?
I like Metro, but...
Who doesn't? Who doesn't? What do you I don't remember the rest of the How many metros you know?
I like Metro, but, I mean... Who doesn't like Metro? I love Metro, but, I mean... Who doesn't?
No, but I say who doesn't, right? Yeah.
Botch.
Multi-hyphenate. What is it? Multi-hyphenate? Multi-hyphenate?
Multi-hyphenate.
Right. Who doesn't? Multi-hyphenate.
Okay. How long is this gonna take?
forever. What was the next line?
Our assignment is going to be sitting in a parking lot.
Yes.
Struggled with that, didn't he? He struggled with that. That was good, though. I like seeing those outtakes. That was really good. So there we go. That was the fun folder. If we go to other, look at this. 8 hours ago, William Regal, without a doubt, in my mind, Eddie was the best all-round pro wrestler ever. An exceptional in-ring command and ability to wrestle anyone in the world without ever meeting them until the bell went. Entertaining skills, presence, and exceptional talking once he had figured it all out. I mean, William Regal just goes on to really put Eddie Guerrero over, and it would have been Eddie's birthday today. Viva la raza. So, amazing, amazing. And then I just wanted to show you this. So 7 years ago, Baron Corbin winning the US title. Corbin said, I agree. I just need the opportunity and I'm fighting like hell for it. Let's go. And then this person here said, no thanks. I still can't forgive you for that abysmal Kurt Angle match. He deserved better. Baron Corbin said, that match was awesome, you neckbeards. Just because it wasn't what you wanted, don't run your mouth. When you can put up a profile picture, you can talk. And on a side note, Man U is trash. I mean, hang on. What? Go some other team. So there we go. He got a little bit confused at the end. I think it was he went into a blind rage, but yeah, I just seeing a bit of back and forth between him and a fan was kind of fun, I thought. So there we go. Good to hear that he's fighting like hell though to get more opportunities. He really is someone that has just vanished. So hopefully we see Baron Corbin return again soon. So let's do some thanks. CM Chunk, shout out to you. I am the color red, shout out to you. Wrestle Night, shout out to you. And I said we would do it. Look, the words of a fool fan the flames of your pride. You are nothing. So I want to shout out some people that have tagged me in the responses here. So Word of Wrestling, shout out to you. Stan Games, shout out to you. Cubs Fan 16, thank you, my friends. Beverly Paggett, thank you. Matty MCFCC, shout out to you. Look, I tried to respond with thumbs up. So Bino, is it 83? Shout out to you. Big Dan, shout out to you. Benjamin Clark, thank you. FNS KZ, shout out to you. Rodney Uncle Howdy White, shout out to you. Wrestling's biggest fan, thank you, my friend. Matthew Clark, appreciate it. Arrows 123, thank you. That random guy, shout out to you. Johnny, I'm going to shout you out because you've tagged in a lot of community members there. So shout out to you, buds. Who else we got? We got Dark Necrofear Wyatt Sicks. Shout out to you. Night Legacy. Appreciate it, my friends. I want to make sure that we're shouting out as many as possible. That might be everyone for this one. So there we go. Yeah, I think that's everyone for this one. So again, big thank you to everyone that tags me in these. As I've said, I don't always get chance to see them at the time because, to be honest, they tend to drop in the middle of the day and I'm usually asleep. So when I wake up, I need to go through my note. I don't check the Wyatt Sicks. I just go through my notifications. So it's appreciated because it is those tags that helps me see them. So there we go. Thank you, my friends. We've clocked in at over half an hour on this one, but that's all right because there's no stream today, so you've got a little extra juice to get you through. So appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, Florida. Our thoughts are very much with you right now, and I will see you again next time. Bye for now.